You are not gonna believe this, but this is actually a matchup we have never done before. The creepy crawlies versus the cyborgs. And we've got two terrific Scion players at the wheels here. Operating the Keiron, we've got a Masters level Korean player. KOP is back. I had an opportunity to ask him what that stands for, by the way, and the answer is absolutely nothing. For the xayid, we've got the Scion streamer himself. The Australian terror with 1,000 names. Stray'll borrow a magical cookie, but we of course know and love him as you. As that feeding pool completes, let me just say the last time we had these two matched up, they did a crazy Keiron versus Protoss game, and if you missed that, you'll want to catch it. Anyways, what's in vogue with the Keiron meta right now is that the Aurora's back in a pretty big way. Specifically, the infused Aurora is what we're seeing a ton of right now, and it's a big part of the early game. But the xayid, of course, has the xayidling right out of the gate, and that's a pretty decent anti-air unit. So I don't know how the transfused Aurora plays out or if we'll even see it because of that. This is my first time at this particular beach as well, so why don't we sneak in those intros and see how this goes. Our Keiron player has an unwieldy acronym. It stands for Korean of Power, Dangerous Scion Destroyer. He is KOP! Oh, looks like the scouts are gonna meet in the middle of the map and see if they can't mediate this dispute. I always love that scene in movies when two armies meet and just have a little powwow before the action starts. Don't you just love how it can make everything about me? Well, it's not all about me. Sometimes it's about you! You know, I don't think I've actually ever seen in a movie where the two armies line up, have that little powwow and say, you know what? We did actually get dressed all up for nothing. Let's just go home and have a beer. I bet that probably has actually happened in real life though. Both our players are expanding. This is a good time for me to mention we're playing this on Data C. And this is one of those maps where I've decided we really do want the night vision goggles. So let's do that. Looking good. Now while we're doing this worker battle, take note that KOP has started up an outlet, so the odds that he's looking for those go-to Auroras getting pretty high. And he's also got a conduit, so that's probably to add on those fuses. The fuse is becoming a condiment that you want to sprinkle onto just about every meal. Oh, that converter needs to be careful or he's going to be our first blood. He is doing a terrific job at delaying that scavenger nest though, and he gets out with his life. Oh, we've got modified gate being researched. That's the speed upgrade for Volts and Pariahs. You can see the double air structures there as KOP energizes his main. Help himself to that little econ boost. His natural is already up and running. Use is about to finish. And my guess was wrong. You did not make xayidlings. We are looking at a trio of roamers. That suggests to me he's not expecting Auroras. He was probably expecting Volts or Pariahs, as roamers are very good against light units. Or he's not expecting anything and he's sending this crew out to scout. Roamers are great scouts. They just don't shoot up, so they're no help against Auroras. There's that scour he spies on the top of the ramp. Oh, look at this, he sends them right into the main. He's gonna see the conduit, he's gonna see the outlet, but he's almost too late because KOP's already put it together for him. I was not wrong for once in my life. That is an infused Aurora. And he drops an emanator in front of his base to get himself vision at that third. You knows he needs anti-air stat. He's making xayidlings, but he's also making a reviler. That's a heavy DPS unit that can shoot up, but they are not here just yet, and that Aurora has made a beeline. Xayidlings pop just in time, but is there enough of them? That shielded Aurora is gonna be able to pick them apart here. Nope, a third one arrives, and that's gonna help chase that Aurora off. Now, what I've seen KOP do before is he keeps his Aurora alive and just uses it to harass the crap out of his opponent, and meanwhile, he macros like a god back at home. Yu's trying to get value out of his roamers on the other side of the map, but there is an Aurora there as well. Reviler pops out. It's a neat little unit. The more it shoots, the faster it starts to shoot. Sort of like a crowd at a sporting event. It gathers momentum. Oh, Yu's roamers got the snipe on the worker trying to build the third base. The great white pudding stops expanding and just sits there, gradually getting cold. Oh, KOP's Auroras intercept. They're gonna make those roamers pay for their impertinence. They kill 2, will they get the 3rd? Oh, here comes the cavalry. Man, an infused Aurora is so beefy. And the thing is, while those shields are taking hits, they're gonna regenerate back up again. Well, not if you can actually kill the thing. Nope, they get away. And Yu's gonna use the opportunity to start his 3rd base. KOP did not get his 3rd going. It's been sitting there doing a great pause this whole time. The end tally result is that currently their incomes are around the same. KOP has the worker lead, Yu has the army lead. And as soon as I say that, KOP surges to an income lead, but probably because he just hit an energize. Yu is adding bile pits, I really like that. Those shielded Auroras really haven't gone anywhere. Oh, building explosion out of KOP, 3 more edifices being added, and a 2nd reliquary for that double upgrade capability. He's already started +1 bioweapons. No upgrades for the xayid as of just yet. Emanator drop outside the xayid base. Oh, is there any defense at the main? There's a single reviler, but it's just gonna get focused right down. Even triple feeding pools isn't enough to keep it up. Can a bile pit beat them back? Looks like KOP thought about it, but he's decided to pull back, and now the revilers are here and they've packed up. Although the technical word for a pack or flock or swarm of revilers is actually a detestable. Yes, I made that up, but it sounds like something that could actually be true. KOP has gotten back to work on his 3rd. Oh, and this is neat, he's actually triple upgrading. And I also really love how he's dropped a sort of a net of orbs all around the Genitron base. And that's gonna let him know where the holes are, where it's safe to poke in, though he definitely didn't get one that time. He's gonna chew up some revilers here, but I think there's too much firepower for him to stick around. Still, it was a good snipe. He's making it hard for Yu to get an army clump together. Yu's figured out he's gotta get out of his own base somehow. The problem is, as soon as he does, those Auroras are gonna move right in. KOP starts up a 4th. KOP's gonna hit the Casnolus Den. Now, I believe I saw he already got his upgrade for his roamers, so I don't think this is a critical loss, but still, you never want to lose a tech structure. Does Yu turn around? Does he do a U-turn? Or is he gonna push on? That single reviler popping out is just gonna be a snack. Oh, it's actually KOP that's gonna turn around. The xayid have a chance to gobble the 4th base here. He picks up some Maynarding mice, gets some worker kills, but the Keiron defenders are here. And the pariahs are backed by Meridians. Oh, lightning bolts ripping into the xayid army. Remember, the Meridian Sycophant ability only siphons energy from living targets, and that happens to be the entire whole of the xayid army. And then they convert that energy into more lightning bolts. And now the pariahs are blocking the retreat. And what once looked like an undefended free base kill turned into a slaughter. And perhaps the worst of it is that freed up the Auroras. They're gonna get some free shots at that 3rd. Or they're just gonna do a little flyover. Nope, they're gonna kill a whole bunch of workers. Now, one of the way that Yu is responding here is he's getting a biomass cavern. That's gonna give him access to Mazilisks, which has some serious anti-air capability. Another thing he might be able to do is get himself an avian nest and get into the sky himself. I mean, Auroras can't hit air, right? But anytime I get to see Mazilisks, I know I'm gonna be happy. Oh, the economy lead for KOP is starting to get pretty serious here. And you can really see the reason for it there. Keiron is trading so efficiently, and I'm sure those fused Aurora have been a huge part of that. And just look at that web of emanators he's got. KOP just has this huge band of vision, and it's hard for you to get rid of them. The only detection the xayid has right now is bile pits. And he's just slipped back into the main again. Good reaction by Yu, but he's gotta take the long way. KOP doing a fantastic job of abusing the terrain. Bile pits have 350 hit points and 2 armor. Is that enough to survive until the cavalry gets here? No, it is not. The xayid has gotta find a way to deal with the Aurora threat. It's just becoming an all-consuming distraction at this point. The Keiron just keeps macroing behind these waves of attacks. He's increasing his Meridian count, and he's got the upgrade lead. Look at that, he's actually got 4 reliquaries, 3 of which are researching right now. Yeah, he's working on +2 bioweapons, +2 bioarmor, and he's getting his +1 shields all at the same time. I've never seen that, but why not? Oh, Yu's getting a ferry on. He needs that. He wants to tackle the problem of the emanators circling his base. It's amazing how little we get to see Ferions, and they're such a cool looking unit. They kind of undulate as they fly through the air there. A Ferion's like a drop lord and an overseer all rolled into one. Hold the phone. Looks like we've got an aperture drop here. They are loaded with pariahs, 8 each. Bile pits are in place though. Look at that instant keyhole drop. Are 3 bile pits enough? Yu has the worker pull here, and he brings over his roamers to the rescue. He's got the mutate bile ducts upgrade for them. That gives him that plus 25% attack speed and range. So they are really good pariah killers, and he is gonna clean this up. But oh man, is that a tough drop to deal with. We've talked about this before, but it's the instantaneousness of it. The apertures don't unload slowly like a normal dropship, everything at once. You defended that well, but he is in trouble here. He is taking hits on all sides. And KOP's gonna celebrate by starting up a 5th base. And he is now quadruple upgrading. That is a Starcraft first for me. And just in case anyone forgot about those Auroras, they've got an Emanator right in the main base. Yu is finishing up an avian nest though. Maybe that will give him the tools to finally deal with those Auroras. I started this game thinking the Revilers were going to be a really good counter, but they have not been up to the task. Has KOP actually even lost an Aurora this entire game? Oh, and as he leaves a little present behind, a fresh Emanator, so he'll know exactly when to go back in. Yu's going to try to go back on the offensive here. He knows he can't leave his opponent unchecked for so long, but he's going to find KOP's got all these Meridians waiting to defend. They're gonna have tons of energy, and that's gonna mean scabs of lightning bolts. But the upgraded roamers are pretty efficient. Oh, there's the lightning. And the Meridians actually have fuses on them as well. Yu pulls back and goes after the 5th. He does force that cancel. The Keiron cancel, such a beautiful graphic. How many lightning bolts does KOP have? The Meridians are just recharging themselves off the blood of their enemies. Only the Ferion makes it out alive. It has no attack of its own, but it's just too pretty to die. Yu tries to sneak an expansion, but KOP knows he's got an Emanator right there watching everything. Yu looks to rebuild. He goes for 10 roamers and 4 revilers. And he's got some raptors. They pop out 2 at a time like zerglings, flying zerglings. They can hunt down those Auroras. KOP gets that revenge cancel. I guess the problem for the raptors is, with those shields on, they're gonna have to shoot those Auroras all day long. He goes for the Emanator, but it cloaks before he can finish killing it. Where is that beautiful Ferion? So now KOP knows that Yu is gone air. How is he gonna adjust? He kind of needs an air-to-air weapon. Oh, he's got another drop lined up. Oh, and it's not pariahs this time. Those apertures are loaded with volts. And KOP has latent charge researched at this point. That's where the volt shots bounce. They hit multiple targets like mini versions of those Meridian lightning bolts. There is a bile pit there to defend, but KOP just barfed a ton of firepower on it, and it drops right down. Ah, not the Ferion, not the Ferion, don't kill the Ferion. I can't watch. Yu has gone on the offensive here. His army does get spotted by an Oculus. KOP's vision this game has just been spectacular. And the Meridian Pariah team rushes over to defend. The Auroras are there as well. And back at the xayid main, the Volts are firing unopposed. KOP has almost double the army supply at this point. The Roamers are great against those Pariahs, but there's just not much else. I gotta figure out what happened to the Raptors here. I thought they were gonna be the xayid answer to the Auroras. KOP has maxed out. Yu is getting hollowed out. And that is what happened to the Raptors. They got called into duty to go up against those Volts, and that is not the matchup they wanted. The Raptors have to pull back and concede the main. I think this is it. A maxed out KOP pushes the attack. He's got the upgrade lead. He's got a huge bank, and he's got another double drop headed for the main. He's hitting the production line now. Yu's gonna lose his larva. The GG key's starting to glow on his keyboard. Touch me, touch me. But he is a fighter and he defends his third. And now he's looking to clean up his main. Somehow he's still in this. He's lost so much production and tech structures though at this point. KOP starts up 3 more numeric upgrades. He's going for his mechanicals now. He's got +3, +3, +2 shields. Yu actually is gonna clean this up. He's got a spitter in there. That's that giant scorpion that lobs those ranged attacks. It's an unguided weapon, which means you need to micro it, so it takes a lot of skill. And guess who's going after that 5th base again? Yu is trying to get a group of raptors together to deal with them. This should totally work. He just needs a whole bunch more because they've got those shields on them. Oh my god, KOP's just ignoring them. He's got to focus one down though. There we go. Can't let KOP say he went the whole game without losing an Aurora. I don't know if he's going to be able to save that scavenger nest though. And no, he goes down. And that's the GG. Do stick around guys, because we do have some news. Okay, well we finally got a KVX. The first thing I want to do before I forget is make sure I tell all you guys that our xayid player today, Yu, he has his own gaming YouTube channel, and it is almost entirely Scion content. He's streaming as well, so if you want to see one of the very top Scion players out there, well now you can. And he's probably throwing something at me right now, because I've casted a ton of games where he consistently mops the floor with everyone, and the one game I cast where he gets absolutely trashed, that's the game I picked to pimp his channel. But those of you who've been watching the games I've been uploading, you'll know that Yu, aka Strailbora, aka Magical Cookie, is a destroyer of worlds. In fact, I believe he's the current reigning Scion round robin champion. He wasn't the champ today though. Today he's the latest victim to fall to infused auroras. KOP is not the only one running this strat right now, I assure you. He just might be the best at it though. I thought his consistent use of emanators really set him apart. There's a reason he always finds that hole to slip in through. It's because he can see so much of the area immediately outside of his opponent's base. So how do you counter this? That's the question the Scion world is grappling with right now. A transfused Aurora has a combined hit points of 300, 260 of which is rapidly restoring shield. And, oh yeah, the remaining 40 heals too, just more slowly. For the counter for the xayid, I feel like we caught a glimpse of it right at the end. Go air. But what would KOP have done had the game continued? How does Keiron deal with the raptors? I mean, forget your auroras for a second. A big pack of raptors can also mess up your base pretty bad, and do so quickly. Does Keiron transition into harbingers? Perhaps use judgment mode to apply area damage to the entire pack? Or does Keiron just keep on trucking with their volts? KOP seemed to show us that their latent charge ability seemed to be up to the job. But an air unit can often leverage the terrain and get the land defender out of position. I, for one, look forward to seeing how this fused Aurora meta is going to evolve. The last thing I have to tell you guys is that if you haven't heard yet, the Genitron just got another huge remake. I haven't even had a chance to wrap my head around it yet, but the robot mech are getting ever more unique. The biggest news is that uploaders are gone and replaced with a new structure called the Relay Tower. It sounds like the Genitron possibly, sorta, even has a new resource. Energy, and most units' abilities are going to run off of it, so the energy from the core and nodes is going to be an even bigger part of the game. Anyways, rather than speculate now, I'm off to start playing myself, and hopefully we can just discuss it in a future cast, or we'll see if we can get Sigmar to teach us over on Scioncraft, or we'll just show it to you with some gameplay. I am also sure there will be growing pains with the sea change, guys, but the main headline here is that this game keeps getting better and better, so enjoy the ride. I know I will be, so let me just say, from my base to yours, Zugzwang out. To continue your Starcraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your Starcraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang Starcraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.